Her name was Mia. She was 6 years old. Bright. Bubbly. The kind of child who drew rainbows on every corner of her lunch napkin. Her mother, Dana, was 34. Single parent. 3 jobs. But every morning before school, she packed Mia's lunch herself. Half a sandwich. A small container of fruit. And always, a box of Mia's favorite juice. No added sugar. Fortified with vitamin C. It even had a cartoon giraffe on the label that Mia kissed before she zipped the bag shut. Dana had chosen that juice because it seemed healthy. It was shelf-stable. Didn't need to be refrigerated. The kind of thing you could buy in bulk and trust. And for a while it was fine. But then came the Wednesday. Mia came home with her lunch untouched. She said her stomach hurt. Dana felt her forehead. No fever. She gave her toast and water. By bedtime, Mia was curled up, clutching her belly. The next morning, she had diarrhea. By evening, she had a fever. And by midnight, Dana was in the ER with a child who couldn't stop vomiting. Doctors asked what she ate. Dana listed everything. They said it was probably a virus. They gave fluids. Sent her home. But the next day, it got worse. And no one, not Dana, not the doctors, thought to look at the juice box. That night, Mia barely slept. She tossed. Moaned. And in the early morning hours, she woke Dana with a soft whimper. Her joints hurt. Not her stomach, her knees and elbows. Dana rubbed her arms and tried to soothe her, but something about it felt wrong. She wasn't just uncomfortable. She looked weak. Drained. She hadn't eaten anything in 2 days. Even sips of water made her gag. By mid-morning, she had a nosebleed. Small. Just a few drops. But enough to push Dana into full panic. They returned to the hospital. This time, the doctors ran more tests. Blood work. Urine. Stool samples. While they waited, they asked Dana again. What has she eaten in the last few days? Dana repeated the list. Sandwich. Banana. Crackers. Juice. Which juice? The nurse asked. Dana pulled a picture up on her phone. The nurse paused. Then said, "We've had another child in here this week. Same juice. Same symptoms." That's when the questions changed. They asked how long the juice had been in the pantry. If any boxes were swollen. If Mia had opened it herself or if Dana had noticed a strange smell. Dana shook her head. She didn't remember anything unusual. The box looked fine. It tasted fine. They sent the juice for testing. And kept Mia overnight. By morning, her kidneys were struggling. She was transferred to pediatric intensive care. Dana sat beside her, frozen. How could juice, sealed, boxed, labeled healthy, do this? And what had they missed? If you're still watching, this story could be the one that protects someone in your life. A small thing, like a juice box, can have consequences no one saw coming. So please, like this video, share it with someone who packs lunches for a child. And subscribe to Health Chronicles. Back to our story. The hospital called in a food safety investigator. Not because they didn't trust Dana. But because something wasn't adding up. Mia's blood work showed signs of E. coli 0157H7. A dangerous strain of bacteria that shouldn't be anywhere near a child's juice box. The team followed the trail. And it started with the batch number printed on the bottom of the juice carton. They contacted the manufacturer. That batch had been produced 4 months earlier. At a plant in another state. There had been no recall. No public warning. Because no one had known, until now, that anything was wrong. So how did E. coli get in? It wasn't the fruit. It wasn't even the packaging. The problem was what the company didn't do. You see, most shelf-stable juices are treated with heat, a process called pasteurization. It kills bacteria, including E. coli. But this batch? It was part of a cold-press trial, a new, trendy method meant to preserve nutrients. Cold-pressed juice skips heat. Instead, it's bottled and then put through high-pressure processing. If the equipment is working properly. But at the plant where Mia's juice was made, a pressure valve had failed. For over 3,000 bottles, that meant the cold stayed cold. But the bacteria stayed alive. And because the packaging still said shelf-stable, parents like Dana stored it in pantries, not fridges. The bacteria inside had weeks to multiply. Mia wasn't the first. But she was the first whose case connected all the dots. The investigation confirmed it. It was the juice. Mia stayed in the hospital for 5 more days. Slowly, her kidneys recovered. She could eat again. Her fever faded. But Dana? She never saw juice boxes the same way again. The company issued a quiet recall. Not a headline, not a press conference. Just a PDF notice on their website and a few supermarket shelf pulls. They called it precautionary. But Dana knew better. She found online forums where other parents had shared similar symptoms. But never realized the juice was to blame. Mia was lucky. She survived. Others weren't so fortunate. What shook Dana most was how normal everything had looked. The juice had a smiling giraffe. It sat on shelves with trusted brands. No strange smell. No odd taste. Just a small, slow poison in a child's lunchbox. Today, Dana packs Mia's lunch differently. No more juice. Only fresh fruit and water she pours herself. And she tells everyone she can. Always check the label. Always ask how it's processed. Shelf-stable doesn't mean safe. And natural doesn't mean clean. Because sometimes the biggest threats don't come with warning signs. They come with cartoons. If this story made you think twice about what goes in your child's lunchbox, share it. Someone else might be making the same mistake, without even knowing it. Leave a comment if you've ever questioned the safety of something labeled healthy. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Health Chronicles.